Hey, my name's CJ, and I'm trying to play more Pokemon than I have been. If I plan on making a video about my hiatus and whatnot for anyone who has been sticking around. But yeah, so hopefully that's so. If not, whatever, it will be besides this point. But yeah, we're back. Technically, season 4 of Scarlet Violet singles in the UBDL, but they're changing their naming convention into uh, just a regular season 11. It's the 11th season of singles, as they were doing with VGC. So, technically, yeah. Welcome to the draft analysis of the Shining Renegades for UBDL season 11 singles roster. So this is my final team. I ignore that the Hydreigon is not shining, but yeah, kind of lazy. It's kind of like if you watched the first draft analysis video and compare it to this, yeah, it's just pretty much a copy paste of that, and then just kind of edited out to that. I did make one for season 2, but I didn't record anything on that. And then season 3 happened and went through, and here's season 4. I'm trying to get back at it. Hopefully with this season. So we're my round 1 and 2 were Iron Valiant, because I just didn't know what I wanted. First pick. Maybe I was thinking about maybe Great Tusk or something. I just wasn't sure about like the high point tiers, because I'm like I Bundle didn't really seem all that interesting to me. Valiant didn't either, but it's, I was second overall pick, so I was gonna be guaranteed like anything. So I thought might as well take something strong instead of just drafting Hydreigon, which is 14 point versus the highest being like 19 points first round. So I took Iron Valiant. I'm like, it's a strong start. It's just really good. Mon has a bunch of coverage. It's just really, I don't know. You gotta be living under a rock to not understand how good this Pokemon is. But again, I just have very limited experience with it, so I might not be the best with it. Maybe I'll start recording, if not recording, just playing some later, trying some of these Pokemon, try to learn better. But yeah, it's kind of mostly going in blind with this, with Iron Valley at least. And in the second round, I just thought, we're bringing back Bertha. I believe I could fact check it and put the rosters up later, but I believe season 2 I drafted Bertha. Season 3 I didn't, because I was just going with the whole different direction, and I was kind of just memeing the whole things with picking Cloudslayer and like one other Pokemon that was suggested by my friends. And then I was trying out Roaring Moon. That's why because I was first picked Roaring Moon, and I'm like, yeah, definitely Roaring Moon was not the pick for me specifically, at least. I don't know. I just kind of had that one track in mind with it, and I just wasn't really sure what I was doing with it. But again, Hydreigon, the GOAT. Yeah, I didn't change anything other than like that last point. I used to say Terra Captain or Terra Annie, but was goated when it was Terra Annie, for sure. But now, they changed the Terra rules over the past couple seasons, where essentially I can't Terra it, period, because the point limit for your Terra Captains have to add up to 14, and you have a minimum of 2. So Hydreigon is 14, but I need another Pokemon, and there's no 0 point tier Pokemon. And if there was, people would just take that and then a 14 point and just not use the 0 point, whatever. But yeah, same thing. Good coverage, fast sweeper. The goat. Next up, just looking around, I'm like, let's build around this. Just Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and just like Metagross. Metagross is always cool. Did get a couple moves and everything. I mean, just Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and I'll also have just a bulky switch in. That usually is pretty good. Did get some recent additions in the DLC. Gets knockoff, good utility. Heavy Slam, good damage. And then Psychic Noise, again, just another good utility move that just stops healing for a couple turns if needed. And just like with these moves here, just these, I mean, just kind of just like, not exactly like a wall breaker, but just kind of like shuts off clerics and really hits hard into like anything that's kind of on sits there and Shadow Ball. That's yeah. Volcarona. I kind of hate drafted it because someone first round picked Walking Wake Torkoal. And I was just kind of getting flashbacks to my Season 2 team, where if you look at the abbreviations, SHR, I also had a Sun team. Walking Wake did put in work. And then same thing with Volcarona, but Volcarona was more so just a secondary setup mon, but it still did put in work. And then Walking Wake was just kind of a finisher in that late game. And then again, like I said, it's a good setup mon. Just late game quiver dances with boots to not take rock damage on the switch in, and then you don't really need like much because you don't really need recovery because you get Giga Drain. I don't really need like any kind of like setup moves because you're fast enough and get set up enough with Quiver Dance. And like I said, Season 2 it did put in like tons of work as a setup on and all that, and it again it's just a Sun counter, I guess. It's just something I could bring in for the Sun because again, like playing with it and having teams not be prepared for like a Walking Wake Sun team. Yeah, I just personally just want to make sure it's like somewhat covered for it. Like maybe they rip off my whole team, but Volcarona also started the Firewater Grass core. I want to go. I'm like, okay, whatever. I have all the carries and all the my first core. I'm like, okay, what do I need? Because I'm basically just all offense right now. So I'm like, okay, spinners. I'm like, Tentacruel. Tentacruel is pretty low, but it's still pretty good. And then it's good like bulky switch in that's gonna eat special attacks, and covers a some bases with the typings and whatnot. Like it says, utility gets Haze, gets Toxic T Spikes, has like some niche like bug moves that like lower stats. It has acid, not probably gets acid, but like the whatever the acid move that reduces the acid spray. I want to say that reduces social defense. Just good bulk switch in. Give it some black sludge. It's never gonna tear it. And then that's just kind of there. And then Shaman. I just figured it's generic good grass type. It's Shaman base because Shaman guy's banned, but still it's a good healer. I could go Scarf Healing Wish. I can believe it gets some kind of aromatherapy. I'm not sure if I had to double check if it has wish. I'm not sure it does. But then it does have decent coverage moves, just all around. And then with the mythical stacks, with a full 100 everywhere, it's still pretty good. Yeah, I could throw a choice on it. I could go just kind of mixed. I could go stall with sub seed. Just good, versatile. And I'm not sure if it is really a good contender right now. As far as like the slot, I'm still working out the kinks on that. Next, I'm like, what else did I need? I can't exactly remember exactly what my mindset was going into picking the Pelipper. I believe it was just again to. I believe I picked Pelipper because I just wanted an extra form of, well, just a form of weather. Because I believe someone is going sand and someone is possibly going hail, not hail, but snow. So again, just having this extra mode that's kind of coming up pretty useful for the first two quote unquote weeks. It's like a week and a half for week 1 and 2 for UBDL, just because draft took so long, and so we just have like basically 5 day weeks kind of just here, and you'll see them this kind of recorded in between matches. But yeah, it gives me a rain option. It has tailwind, it has decent stab moves, it has decent special attack. Just again for the general utility, it's kind of like you get what you see on the box type thing. And then I'm like, I'm going Pelipper. Like, what is there? I go Swift Swim Kingdra if it was not picked already. I'm like, no, that's just another dragon type. And then again, just like basically there to drop Draco Meteors. And it's kind of like I already had that. So I'm like, Ludicolo, why not? Because it gets Green Dish, gets Swift Swim. It's like just, I don't know, these two are iconic, from back in the day with like VGC rain teams and everything like that. And I feel like it still holds up to this day, just not, high tier. You get Sub Seed, you get Giga Drain, you get Stab, Hydro Pump in the rain. Obviously, it can miss, whatnot. You get a couple of coverage moves and Ice Beam. And just good Pokemon. Doesn't really have too many strong weaknesses against it. I just felt like it was cool, and also for the meme, just because Ludipago. It's at least somewhat of an inside joke with me and a couple of my friends, because Ludicolo is that guy. And then I surprisingly had quite a few points left. So I'm just like looking around, like not really sure what I really needed at that time. But I'm like, okay, what's high up in the points and decently strong as its own, and just kind of is there. It doesn't really need anything else that I could just throw in as just like slot filler for the team. Well, week to week team as needed. I'm like, yeah, I enjoy Glue. Sounds fun. It's like somewhat a little bit, future Hydreigon's the whole thing. But yeah, it does have a strong, fast stab Hurricane in the rain, or just 70 base accuracy, just if I really want to do that. I had just good coverage, just basically just a different typing of Hydreigon. But again, it can also use booster energy, and it's just all around pretty good. And then if I want to, I could use it for Tailwind. It's good in rain, good in general. Yeah, not much else to say about that. And not, again, it's been a while since the actual draft, so I can't remember exactly what I was thinking. But I was just looking around, and yeah, I can't exactly remember why I decided to pick Cobalion, but I did. I'm like, okay, it's bulky, has rocks. It's just a decent, good wall breaker, good for. Not sure if it's a good switch in, but has some good switch ins. Yeah, then eventually it did become one of my Terra captains. I didn't really plan on it, but the points with the 12, or not 12, the 14-point limit kind of just worked out, as opposed to other Pokemon where I just felt like it just didn't add up, and I feel like I was like wasting like 4 or 5 points from like Terra captains if I was doing it any other way. Because eventually, something I did want to build around as far as a low point Terra captain was of like Electivire. It doesn't really have huge bulk or speed or anything really in particular other than attack, but I'm like, it looked cool. Again, I like a couple of these Pokemon. I saw them on Pokemon MD shorts, and just kind of like, yo, I want to kind of run that. Same thing with Metagross. Maybe I saw a Cobalion thing. I probably didn't, but for sure these two were pretty good, or well, it came from the shorts at least. And yeah, not much else to say about that, but because yeah, it probably already had Shadow Blaze if it didn't already, but it did get bulk up. I could use Terra Flying on it because that's the Terra. Because you get Terra Stab and Terra Any, not the Any, but you get a specific Terra type now. So obviously he only has one Stab type, so can Terra into Electric if I want that. But Terra Flying, just kind of gets rid of its one weakness. Has Vital Spirit, or not Vital Spirit, Motor Drive. So it has one less weakness as a flying type, and it's like good switch in. Oh yeah, also one thing I looked over is it's good with the Rain Team, because you can like switch into and catch any like electric type moves, whether I am Terra or not, because I'm completely immune, and it gives me a speed boost. Again, I picked it to be just a cheap Terra. Has knockoff, break, has just kind of decent coverage, not completely like anything of like the special attackers, but definitely just good, just bulk up, and then it does get Flying Stab Terra if I really want to do that. So knockoff, break, Terra Flying, Trailblaze. I go Wall Charge, maybe Super Cell Slam if I really want to risk it, but yeah, it's definitely kind of a hot take on my part, but yeah, I'm kind of sticking with it. And that is your Johnny Renegades UBDL Season 11 singles roster. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully we go back to being 7-0. Spoilers, we won't. But yeah. So far, yeah, kind of really feeling good in this team. I'm not sure if I'm keeping everyone throughout the whole season, but so far as it's gone so far, as far as like the team building and whatnot, I do feel good about this team. Maybe might change like 1 or 2 Pokemon if I don't really need them going out, or if they just kind of aren't working the way I thought they would. But only time will tell with that. yeah, so let's have a great season, and I'll see you in the next video.